You've heard me say this over and over, but I've been doing this over 40 years. And when shiny, pretty parts come in the shop, they still make me feel like a little kid at Christmas time. I love this stuff. I always have. Uh, this is a restoration. I can't say that enough. It's a restoration, not one of my rebuilds that I'm trying to send any kind of records. I'm trying to put this back together as close to original as possible. He had, we got a pair of rods in this. Super rods, aluminum rods. Inside the rods, we have a dowel pin. That bronze dowel pin there holds the rod bearing from moving. I had to make a fixture to take rod bearings, because they don't make them like that no more, and drill it, and then I sent the bearings out to have them coated. I had these beautiful gas ported pistons made by the good people with JE Piston Company, and Pistons and Rings came in here from them. These little holes right here, if you're wondering what they are little holes that go down behind the top ring, and it comes out right behind the ring. And as this goes up on compression stroke, the gas pressure goes into that hole and pushes the ring out tight against the sealant to aid in the cylinder sealing. These are a little different than the ones that came out of it, because things are so much nicer nowadays. Very thin ring stack, which means these rings are very thin. They're not the thick 1/16 rings that they used to be. And they do that to cut back on drag. The weight of the pistons are coated. We're getting this short block all together here now. The rods have been balanced. The pistons have been balanced. Everything has been assembled. I had all the pistons in here. I had the cylinder head on. I have taken, we play-dohed all the cylinders and checking valve piston clearance with the head on it. I didn't want to use the cylinder head gasket that I have, because it was it has a coating on it. It's a copper gasket that I had custom made that I don't want to mess that up. So I found a piece of cardboard that was the same thickness, and I made myself a gasket out of it, and I cut it out and set it on the block, put the head on top of it to simulate the space difference between the distance of the head away from the piston that would change the clearance on my valve piston clearance. So I got everything as close as I could, and I adjusted up all my valves. I had the whole thing, turned it over, took it all back apart, measured the compression where the valve goes into the Play-Doh. Very, very time consuming process, but very critical. But I've had this thing all together. Everything's checked, everything's balanced. She's going together on the final assembly, and this part of it is really fun. That's fun. The whole thing's fun, but you know, there's parts of it that's meticulous and is a little taxing on you when you're trying to figure things out and you're trying to get everything exactly so. And a lot of judgment calls on this. One of my judgment calls on this was that the block was already 60 over. And I know everybody has a heart attack when things get to be 60 over, but that's really not the case. So we had a choice to start over with a different block or try to keep the original one in the car. And I wanted to keep all this as much as possible, and original as much as possible. So the block was sonic tested. We made sure we had thick cylinder walls, and I had these custom pistons made at 70 thousandths over. So we have a 70 over Boss 300 engine. Pretty cool. So anyway, at this point, camshaft's in it. Crank is getting ready to the finish being torqued. All the bearing clearance is correct, and then the short block is underway. So we're getting close.